Hello, everybody. This is Noah and John, and we are both from UrbanDigs, and it is Monday, so you're going to get your Brooklyn weekly market update. John, let's get right to it. I'm looking at Brooklyn supply here, 2401. Not much. That is going down. Show me the chart, Johnny.
Going down is right, Noah, down almost 7.5% from last week. And we're at levels in Brooklyn supply that we have not seen really since the peak of the pandemic back in April, May of 2020.
Yeah, and John, we've been talking about this developing supply situation in Manhattan. It is there in Brooklyn. For anyone that's willing to listen, sellers, you may want to consider putting this out during the holiday season. I'm just saying, because supply is going down, and I can imagine buyers are not liking this at all. Let's go to pending sales. See if there's any clues there, John. Brooklyn pending sales 3,083. Show me that chart.
So 3,083 is a slight tick up, about 0.7% from last week. And so, pending sales, we noticed it's sort of going sideways, and it looks like it's starting to tick up here. So it's too early to say that we're into an uptrend, but we are certainly ticking up. How about that?
That's fine, John. I mean, this is the time when usually it ticks down. This is usually when it cools down. The fact that it's ticking up and the fact that inventory is going down so much, you got to think that the pressures on pending sale are lower, considering seasonality and the fact that there's less inventory, right? There's not that much stuff to go into contract yet. Here we are. And you take that relative strength, of pending sales, and you take the fact that supply is falling down, and that equals a market pulse. I just want to point this out, that is starting to do a little blow off top in market pulse in Brooklyn right now. We are at the highest point. This is a sell side signal until it no longer is. It's probably going to continue to go in this way because I don't think sellers are getting the message that they need to list right now, right? They're probably waiting for that February wave of next season. In the meantime, it's just going to be a very optionless market for those buyers out there, and we'll see what happens. Let's go to the weeklies, John. Maybe there's some clue there. I'm looking at Brooklyn supply 112. Show me that chart.
Yeah, 112 is down almost 22%. No, and if you talk about the signal to sellers to sell, this is a great one, because if you look at the years past, we're not expecting to see any kind of increase in the number of weekly units coming on the market. I mean, at least for the next 2 weeks, you should expect these numbers to be at or below 112. So if you're a seller out there, you've really got the buyer's attention all to yourself right now.
Yeah, and I think that'll extend even about 3 weeks, potentially even 4, before you start to really see that coming back up. But you're exactly right, Johnny. I hope people are listening right now. I hope they're conveying this message to those sellers that are just waiting to list right now. Let's move on to contract signed in Brooklyn. 176. That's down, but not down that much considering. Show me the chart.
Yeah, it's down. It's down about 3.5%, and it's something you'd expect this time of year. But to be honest, Noah, 176 deals at this time of year is pretty good. Last year around this time was 120 deals. So we're up. I mean, what is that? 40-something% from where we were at this point last year. So the buyers are certainly out and about in Brooklyn. They're not just looking at the lights; they're signing contracts.
Yes, they are. And I want to go take a look at the price trends, Johnny. We're looking at resale median price trends in Brooklyn. Okay, by prop type. We're going back to 2010 here, and we got a 6-month moving average on these lines. And as you take a look, we got the co-ops in blue, we got the resale condos in red, we got the new developments. That's the most volatile one of the bunch, as we would expect, in yellow. And then we got the townhouses in green. I mean, the townhouses are just doing its own thing right now. But I got to tell you, co-ops, they're not doing so bad either, John.
They're not, no. And that's what's interesting is, it's a nice, really, for, I should say, for co-ops, resale condos, and townhouses, it's a nice, smooth, linear acceleration, basically. And then 2020, everything kind of turned a corner, and, that slope tipped a bit up. But I would like to look at that co-op number a little more, because even though they are the lowest of the bunch in terms of the average or the median price, simply because that's the nature of that asset class, they're actually not doing that. They're actually doing pretty well, I should say, compared to, say, co-op appreciation in Manhattan.
Yeah, we're going to go there in just a second. And I just want to point out, look at the new dev condo, John. That's the only one of the bunch that's actually kind of bucking the recent trend right over here. Maybe you could argue the resale condo market is topping out a little, but you know what? Nothing goes in a straight line forever. And we do have these little pauses as we go up. So I'm not convinced on that yet. Let's take a look at what you're talking about, Johnny. What are we looking at here?
So if we take January 2020 as a baseline, what's the percentage change in sort of the median price since that baseline? If you look at co-ops, they are actually the ones that are leading the way in Brooklyn since January 2020. They're up, I think that was at roughly about 26 or so% on a median basis.
Yeah.
And it's ahead of your condos and your new devs and your townhouses. So that's an interesting thing. And just to further what you said, no, I think it's kind of look like they're tipping over. I think a lot of what Brooklyn prices are tied to is volume in Brooklyn. So we're seeing a little bit of a downturn in volume and on the contract signed level, even though as we just talking about, it's very heavy, but compared to where it was a month or 2 months ago, it's a little bit lower. So I think you're going to see those prices come off, and then as we get into the new year, I think we're just sort of setting the stage for another rally here.
Yeah, I think so too. I can't. Let's just remember there's a lag. Right, we're very early, and all that stuff in the first segment of this show is very, very early listing side information. This is closed sales side, so that there's at least a 3 to 5 month lag between the two. And I would argue that this is representing the small summer fade that Brooklyn, it's not representing the last 2 months. That's for sure. And that's what's coming. And we see what's coming. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Johnny, thank you so much for pulling up all these charts on Brooklyn. That is fantastic to see. I am Noah Rosenblatt. That is John Welcome. We are both from UrbanDigs. Don't forget, guys, if you got questions, we have answers. We have our forum right over here. And if you want to see any of the reports in this show, please just click on these links right over here. But Johnny, outside of that, this has been a wonderful report, a Brooklyn weekly market update, and we'll catch you all next time.